Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Welcome to our practice this morning. How's everyone doing? I know you can't respond. You can respond in your living rooms if you'd like. We're doing a different angle this morning in my living room, mostly so you don't have to stare down the abyss that is my hallway, but also it gives me opportunity to like highlight more of my plant children. So we're trying something new this morning. So welcome to our yoga and coffee Saturday morning practice. I don't know about the rest of you, but I definitely need this practice this morning. There's been a lot of new announcements and changes, and a lot of things shifting in our community and in our state as of this last week. So this morning is just really about feeling and finding that support in this community. Maybe a little moment of grounding and settling into your space and settling into a mindset that can kind of carry you through this new transition of things being shut down and going through a few weeks of a freeze. So um, as always, whatever you're needing this morning, just make sure that you're honoring that. Whether you have coffee or beverage of your choice by your mat, you just get to do what you need this morning for your practice. So with that, as always, these practices are about doing what makes sense, leaving what doesn't. If you've not practiced with me before, I'm Jaime. So just kind of creating space for what you need, um, feeling that breath and movement, feeling that sense of community, even though we're all in our separate living rooms, we're all kind of here together in this moment. We are going to use a blanket for the end of class. If you have one handy, just grab it and set it aside for now. Just make sure that it's in a reachable distance. Um, Good morning, Jenna. Happy you're here. Yay. So with that, we're going to get started seated. So just coming to a nice, comfortable seat on your mat. And as we begin this morning, we're going to bring a hand to the heart. So I prefer my right hand. If you want to do left, that's an option. But bringing hand to heart, and then the other hand is going to be placed firmly on the ground. So if that's not comfortable, find like a book or something, a pillow maybe, that allows you to kind of ground down through that opposite hand down into your mat and into the floor. And then just start to give yourself a little space to settle in here. So eyes can close, gaze can drift to the floor if that's more comfortable. And just start to settle into this space. Starting with that little moment of awareness. This is kind of a practice I've been using in my yoga practice lately. It's just starting by being aware of how the breath is moving in the body, how my body is feeling in this moment. If there's areas that are feeling kind of cranky or stuck. And then just an awareness around where the mind is at. So, kind of using this time to take stock. And then just gently, easily, we'll start to bring a little more intention to your breath. And this morning, we're going to find that inhale to a count of 4 or 5. And then top of the exhale, counting to that same number. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just starting to settle into this rhythm of breath in the body. Feeling how it moves beneath your hand on the heart. If you were practicing with us in March when we experienced our first transition to the live stream, our mantra that month was this: inhale to a count of 4 or 5, exhale to that same count. So just coming back to that mantra, that intention to really focus the mind around the breath and how it's moving. Feeling rooted and grounded through the sit bones, through that hand that's pressing down into the floor. And we're going to spend just a few more moments here with this breath, feeling that connection, hand to the earth, hand over the heart, feeling that movement of breath. And this morning for this practice, I invite you to come back to this connection, this doing less, feeling what's happening inside. So if that means doing less with the arms as we move through our poses, hands can always come to heart, just allowing them to rest there. Or if that's taking pause to reconnect with that full inhale, full exhale. Just allowing yourself to feel grounded and supported at each moment in this practice. One more big breath wherever you're at. We're just going to bring that hand from the ground and let it rest over the hand that's on the heart. This is a space and a shape that we're going to come back to and revisit a few times in our practice. Just letting it be that reminder of connecting to the breath, feeling the heart beating inside of you, feeling that collective sense of community and support. With our next inhale, we're going to take a nice big reach of the arms, just reaching them out to the sides, opening up the heart here. And then we're going to start to hug the arms in, rounding the back a little bit, chin will tuck down, wrapping the arms around the shoulders. We'll move this a couple times. Inhale, opens it up nice and wide. Each time that you wrap the arms, maybe putting that opposite arm on top. 2 more just like that. Nice big reach here. Finding that little bit of hug. It's almost like we're just big group hugging, but separately. Nice big reach. One more time. Finding that arm wrap. Reaching out to the sides. We're going to start to take those arms up to the sky. Hands to heart. Shifting back on those sit bones. Feet are going to come out in front. Just a cute little moment of boat pose here. You're in your living room, so if your feet are down, that's okay. No one can see you. Maybe you float the feet. And then we're going to cross the legs with that opposite leg in front, settling back into our seat. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Opening the arms wide. We're going to bring the arms up into that cactus arm shape and then start to press the arms together. Right arm's coming underneath the left. So maybe you find that hug, maybe the backs of the palms or hands pressed together. Maybe you wrap the arms here. Settling in for a breath. With your next inhale, pressing those hands up towards the sky any amount. Shoulders are drawing down the back. Bringing it back to center. Gently unwrapping, finding that nice big reach. Hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, opening nice and wide here. Finding that cactus arm shape. We're going to press those arms towards each other, this time with that left arm wrapping underneath the right. So same options. Maybe you find that hug. Maybe the backs of the hands press towards each other or you wrap. You choose what feels good. Pausing here for a breath. With your inhale, lifting those arms up towards the sky, shoulders are drawing down the back, keeping that core engaged. And then we'll bring it right back down. Unwrapping the arms, nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to make our way over into our table. Taking a moment to get set up here, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. We'll take a couple rounds of our cat-cow. Inhale, drops the belly, lifts the heart. Exhale, rounding the back, pressing away. Moving through these shapes with the pace of your breath. Feeling that connection of hands pressing down into the mat, shins are pressing down into the mat. Coming back to that idea of feeling connected and grounded here. Dropping into that cow shape. As we round into our cat, we're going to place that left hand on the right and then send the hips all the way back, settling into a child's pose. Breathing here for a breath. Inhale brings us forward into our table. Dropping the belly, lifting the heart. As you round into that cat, right arm stacks on top of the left, hips pull all the way back. Settling in for a breath. With your inhale, rising up, coming back into that table shape. One more time, dropping the belly, lifting the heart. Tucking the toes, lifting hips up and back, coming into our down dog. We're going to spend a couple breaths here. So just taking any little movements that you need to kind of warm up the body in this shape. Maybe you walk it out. Maybe you get a little sassy with the hip swivel. Anything that you need to settle in to this pose. We'll start to settle into a little bit of stillness here. So heels are pressing down and back. Hands are firmly pressing into the mat here. We're going to send that right foot up and back, stepping it all the way forward. Staying up on those back toes, keeping hands down around the foot for a moment. So pausing here, feeling really strong through the legs in this shape. We're going to sneak that right hand up onto the right thigh. Start to get a little light in those left fingertips. Arms going to reach forward and all the way up. Both hands to the sky. Settling in here. Feeling rooted through the feet. We're going to inhale, straighten that front knee. Exhale, finds that bend. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bend. One more time here. Reaching up. Bending that knee. Hands are going to come down around the foot. Any way you want to get there, we're stepping it back. Down dog. We're going to inhale, rolling up onto those tiptoes. Exhale, presses heels down and back. One more time, just like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale, presses heels back. This time as we inhale, we're rolling forward into that plank. Knees are going to drop. Heart pulls forward, elbows bend straight back as we lower all the way down to the mat. Untucking the toes. Big shrug of the shoulders here, baby cobra. Rolling right back down. Pressing back to table. Tucking toes, lifting hips, down dog. Settling in for a breath here. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Pausing here for a moment again. So feeling really rooted through the feet, lengthening through that back heel. Left hand's gonna sneak up onto that left thigh, getting a little light in those right fingertips. And we're reaching all the way up. Both hands to the sky here. Settling in for a moment of pause. Feeling that rooted, connected feeling through the feet. Inhale finds that lift. Exhale bends the knee. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bend. Last one with your breath. Hands come down around the foot. We're going to step that back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Keeping a nice deep bend into the knees. We're going to slowly roll all the way up. Once you're there, nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then we're just placing palm over heartbeat. Maybe allowing the eyes to close, gaze to drift to the floor. Settling back into that moment that we began our practice. We'll start to blink the eyes open. With our inhale, nice big reach, hands to the sky, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, folding forward. Left foot's gonna stay, right foot steps back. Settling into that high lunge shape in the leg. So powering through that back heel. Heart is pressing forward here. We're gonna reach all the way up into that high lunge. Inhale, straightens that front knee. As we bend the knee, bending the elbows, finding that cactus arm shape. We're gonna start to tilt forward as we press the arms towards each other. And then opening it right back up into that cactus arm. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Finding that tilt and lean forward, like you're moving through molasses or honey, pressing those arms towards each other, bringing it right back up. One more time here. Coming back up. Hands to the sky as you start to straighten that front knee. And then we'll bend that knee. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back. Down dog. We're going to move through this vinyasa one more time all together. As we inhale, rolling forward into plank. Knees are going to drop, or you can keep them lifted. Heart pulls forward as you lower. Pressing into the hands, shoulders roll back. Maybe you lift up any amount more, or you can keep it nice and easy, nice and low. We'll bring it right back down. Pressing through table or all the way back, down dog. And again, settling in for a breath here. If it makes sense, right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Staying low here. Heart presses forward, heel presses back. Reaching all the way up, high lunge. Settling in for a breath. Inhale to lift. As you bend that knee, elbows bend, opening up into that cactus arm shape. Keeping that idea of lifting through the heart as we start to tilt forward, hands are pressing in. Opening them back up, coming back up on top of the hips. We'll do that 2 more times. Last one here. Reaching back up. Hands to the sky, straightening that front knee. And then we'll bend that knee, hands come down around the foot, stepping that back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Placing hand over heartbeat. Settling back into that stillness. Bringing it all back in to the center. Feet are grounded. Feeling that breath moving inside you. We'll start to blink the eyes open. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Right foot stays, left foot steps back. Coming up into that high lunge. So settling here for a moment. We're going to inhale and lift. As we bend the knee, bending the elbows. Finding that press and lean forward. Bringing palms or forearms together. Opening it back up as you come back to neutral. Reaching up as you straighten that front knee. And then we're going to drop that back heel, opening it up, warrior two. So taking a moment to get settled here. Again, feeling that connection through the feet, through the legs, feeling really grounded and supported in this shape. Inhale is going to lift. Exhale, warrior two. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. We're going to flip that front palm, finding our reverse. Bringing it back, warrior two. Forearm to thigh, extended side angle. That hand can reach straight up, or you can start to reach it forward. Bringing it back, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. You have the option to move through that vinyasa. You can bring it down to table. You can settle into child's pose. Maybe you just find a moment of a seat, hand over heart. Anything that you need to bring yourself back to the center. Bringing it back to the breath, back to that place of feeling grounded and supported. We'll all come to meet in our down dog. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward, coming on up into that high lunge. Pausing for a breath here. Inhale's going to straighten that front knee. As we bend the knee, bending the elbows, finding that tilt forward, arms pressing to the center. Opening it back up. Reaching up to the sky as you straighten that front knee. And then we're dropping that back heel, settling in to our warrior two. Pausing here. Inhale's gonna lift. Warrior two. Two more just like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale, warrior two. Flipping that front palm, finding our reverse. Bringing it back, warrior two. Forearm to thigh, extended side angle. So again, that top arm can reach straight up, or maybe you start to press it forward. Bringing it back, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot. Stepping that back foot forward, forward fold. Taking a nice deep into the knees here. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, letting everything really hang out. Release those elbows. Keeping a nice deep bend into the knees. I don't think it would be Saturday morning yoga unless we had chair pose. So coming on up, finding our chair. Again, it's Saturday, so if your chair is standing desk, that works for me. I can't see you, so you do the chair that you need. Maybe you grab a chair, that works too. Maybe you sit any amount lower. But again, settling back in. And I invite you, again, if having the arms lifted is kind of distracting from the breath or from what you're trying to do, maybe you just bring hand over heart. So really feeling feet rooting down, hips pressing back, heart is still lifting. Breathing through the things that are hard. Slowly, we're going to start to straighten those legs. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. Hands to heart center. And just bringing those hands down at our sides here. Settling in, eyes can close or gaze to the floor. Bringing everything back to the center. Back to the breath. Back to the support of our feet. Down into the mat. And we'll start to blink the eyes open here. We're going to keep hands down at our sides for the next little moment. So pressing firmly through the feet. We're going to start to shift weight into the left foot, and that right knee is coming up. So just a moment of pause, picking a point of focus in front of you to kind of really bring it back in, bring it back to the center, breathing through this little moment of balance. And then we're going to take that knee out to the side and we're coming into our tree pose, but we're going to make this a really supported tree. So like we're in a forest, all the trees are very tight together. So you have the support of your tree friends. So you can find your kickstand, you can bring it to calf or thigh. We're going to bring the left hand to the heart. Right hand is going to just rest on the thigh. So we're not going to get wild with our branches this morning. Just keeping it really easy and supported. Finding that point of focus. Still feeling tall, so that left hip is hugging in towards the center. Crown of the head's reaching up towards the sky. And then we'll just gently start to bring that knee back to center, both feet on the ground. Hands are going to bring it right back to our sides, settling back in. Maybe you close the eyes for a breath or two, feeling that connection of feet to the mat. Eyes are closed. We'll start to blink them open. Shifting weight into that right foot, left knee's coming up. Pausing here, finding that point of focus. Feeling that length, feeling that support in this balanced shape. We'll start to bring that knee out to the side. Same options. You can kickstand it. You can bring it to calf or thigh. And then we're going to bring that right hand to the heart. The left hand's going to rest on that thigh. So maybe it's up high on the thigh. Maybe it's the knee. If that foot is up on the thigh, maybe you grab the ankle. Again, coming back to that place that we started our practice. So feeling connected and supported, even though we're standing on one foot. Right hip is hugging in, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Bringing it right back to the breath. If you fall out, just find it again. We'll bring that knee forward, both feet on the ground, hands at our sides. Again, just finding that moment of pause. Maybe you bring hand over heart, if that's more comforting or supportive for you this morning. We'll start to blink the eyes open. Inhale takes those arms right up to the sky, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, folding forward. Inhale reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, nice big reach. We're going to sit back into our chair. Hands can stay lifted. You can bring hands to heart. Pausing here for a moment. We're going to start to shift weight into that right foot, and that left leg is going to sneak all the way back, coming into that high lunge shape. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. Settling in for a pause. Inhale, lifts and lengthens. Exhale, bending that knee, bending the elbows, finding that cactus arm shape. We're going to tilt forward, pressing the arms together. Pressing it right back out. Hands to the sky. Dropping into that warrior two. Settling in here. Feeling rooted through the feet. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. One more time, reaching up. Warrior two. We're going to bring that forearm to thigh. That top arm can reach straight up here. So settling into this shape, we want to think long through both sides of the body here. And we want to keep that heart open towards that left edge of our mat. So keeping the heart twisting forward. That's really the focus in this shape. Length through the sides, heart opening up. So you can stay here if this is happy and enough and you're doing all those things. If you want to add on a little bit, maybe you start to bring that hand down inside that right leg. If you start to do that and you lose some of this heart opening length through the sides, just bring it right back up. If you're in that shape and you want a little bit more, maybe you start to straighten that front knee, settling in to your triangle shape. That top arm can always come down to the hip. It's kind of an added support if you're starting to lose some of that heart opening length through the sides of the body. We'll start to bend into that knee if it's straightened, bringing it right back up, warrior two. Inhale to lift, warrior two, finding our reverse. Bringing it back, warrior two. Hands are gonna come to heart. We're gonna turn the toes to face that long edge of your mat, and then toes angle out, heels angle in. And we're gonna start to settle into our goddess, our horse pose. I'm just hitting you with all my favorite poses this morning. So you are in charge of how much you want to settle into this. You are the master of your torture in this moment. So maybe you keep it nice and easy. Maybe you sit down any amount more. If you're wanting more, you can reach hands to the sky, or hands can come back to heart over heart, or palm over heart. Slower than you want to, we're going to start to straighten those legs. Pausing here for a breath, maybe bringing those hands to the heart if they're not already there. And we're going to sit into this one more time here. So settling back in. Again, you choose your level of intensity here. Hands can stay at the heart. You can bring palms together if you'd like. We're going to start to lift that right heel and then bring it right back down. And then lifting the left, bringing it back down. We're going to move this a couple times, trying to resist the bobbing up and down, but really isolating this to just picking up that heel, placing it down, and then lifting the other. We'll bring both the heels back down, straightening into those legs. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. We'll turn those back toes in, bringing it back, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. Option to move through that vinyasa if you want it, settling in to table or child's pose, maybe just bringing it back to hands on heart, settling into that breath. We're all going to settle back into our down dog. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Coming on up, high lunge. I'm going to flip around here in preparation for where we're going. Nice big reach. We're going to inhale, straighten that front knee. Bending the knee, bending the elbows. We'll start to press those forearms toward each other as you lean. Opening it back up. Nice big reach. And then dropping that back heel, settling in, warrior two. Again, pausing here. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. One more time, reaching up. Warrior two. Forearm is going to come to thigh. That top arm can reach straight up, or you can bring it to the hip. So again, we're going to pause here. So heart is pressing towards that long edge of the mat. Length through both sides of the body here. Still powering through that back leg. Option to stay, or maybe you start to sneak that arm down inside the left leg. Again, if you get there and you're losing all of the things happening in the upper part of the body, just bring it right back up. If that hand is down inside the leg and you're wanting more, maybe you straighten up into that triangle shape. Again, heart opening towards the edge of the mat. Length through both sides of the body. Two more breaths wherever you're at. That front knee is straightened, we'll start to find that bend, bringing it back up, warrior two. Inhale to lift, warrior two. Flipping that front palm, finding our reverse. Bringing it back, warrior two. Hands are gonna come to heart. We're gonna turn those toes again. This time feet are gonna be parallel. Hands are gonna come to the hips, and we're gonna start to find that fold forward until you come all the way down into your wide leg forward fold. So hands can come down to the mat. If you're wanting more movement here, maybe you bend into one knee and then the other. Finding whatever you need in this shape to settle in. You can always reach fingertips to the legs. You can grab opposite elbows. And then wherever you're at, hands are gonna come down to the mat. We're just gonna find that halfway lift. Maybe you put a little bend into the knees. Hands are gonna sneak up onto the waist as we come all the way back up. Turning those left toes forward, bringing it back, warrior two. Hands come down around the foot. We're gonna step it back, down dog. Option to move through that vinyasa if you want it. Maybe you settle into table or child's pose. From our down dog, we're gonna reach that left leg up and back, stepping it forward. Pausing here for a moment. Hands are gonna come up to the thigh. Maybe you bring hand over heart. And we're just sneaking that back foot forward. Chair pose. Feel very up close and personal with my mantle right now. One more breath wherever you're at. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. And we're just gonna bring hands down at our sides. Settling back in, eyes can close, gaze can drift to the floor. We'll start to blink the eyes open. Shifting weight into that left foot, right knee is coming up. So we're bringing it right back into our tree pose. Knee will come out to the side. Maybe you find that kickstand, calf, or you can bring it all the way up to the thigh. Again, you have the option to keep this really supported. So maybe you reach that right hand down, grab the ankle or rest on the thigh. Left hand's gonna come to the heart. So as we settle into this tree pose again, I want you to breathe here in this kind of supported version of the pose. Feeling the length through the body, feeling that connection of foot down into the mat. You can stay here if this is happy and you feel good. If you want to maybe grow a branch or maybe two, that's an option as well. but giving yourself permission to stay really centered, keeping it easy, knowing that that forest of yogi trees is out there with you. If that his hand or hands are reaching up, you can bring them back, gently bringing that knee forward, both feet on the ground. Hands at your sides, settling back in here. Maybe letting the eyes close. We'll start to blink the eyes open, shifting weight into that right foot, left knee's coming up. You know where we're headed. You choose what your version of tree pose looks like on this side. But again, just settling right back in. So hand on heart, hand resting on thigh or ankle, finding that point of focus, feeling that sense of length and height through the body. Breathing in this supported shape. Again, if you want to maybe find hands to the sky, finding your branchiest tree you can, or you can keep everything really centered and easy. One more breath wherever you're at. We'll bring those hands back in, bringing that knee forward, both feet on the ground. Hands at your sides, finding that pause again. Maybe you bring hand over heart. One more breath here. We'll start to blink the eyes open. Inhale, nice big reach. One more little moment of chair pose. Finding your happiest, I'm sitting in a chair face. And then we're gonna fold all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Bending into the knees a lot. We're just gonna step one foot back, coming down to the shin, and then the other, settling into our table. Pausing here for a breath. And then we're just gonna walk hands back, coming all the way up on the knees. So we're coming into kind of a version of camel pose, but we're gonna keep it again, easy, supported, kind of bringing it back to center. So hands are gonna rest on the heart here. So feeling that sense of pressing the heart up into the hands. And we're just gonna breathe in this shape. So don't think about like finding that bend or reaching back for anything. Like we're gonna keep hands right here. That heart is reaching up. So with your inhale, maybe that heart finds any amount more of a lift. Exhale is that little bit of pulling the ribs together, lengthening through the back. Tailbone is lengthening down towards the mat. And then we'll just start to bring everything back to neutral, stacking everything on top of the hips. Pressing those hips back, reaching those arms forward. We're gonna settle into a little moment of child's pose. So taking the knees nice and wide. If the forehead doesn't make it down to the mat, maybe stacking the forearms or the fists to create a little cushion or pillow here. So you can really release the head, down into something. So everything feels supported in this shape. Feel that lengthening back through the hips. One more breath here. Then we'll just gently start to press up. And we're going to make our way down to a comfortable seat. So settling back into that seat, sit bones are firmly planted down into the mat. We're going to start to reach that right arm out to the side. So reaching it just a little further than it being like comfortably planted. So you can be up on fingertips here, or that palm can be planted. We're just going to start to reach that left hand way out to the side. So opening up through the heart here, finding that length and reach. If this feels really good, you can stay. This is happy, making sure that the hips are still firmly planted. Or you can start to reach that left arm up and over. And you can put a little bend into that planted arm or hand. So you don't want to cave into it. You want to keep it really kind of open, lengthening through the sides like we did in our extended side angle. Hips are still planting firmly down into the mat. And that heart is still opening forward to the front side of your mat. And then we'll start to bring it right back up. Both hands to the sky. Hands to heart. And then we're going to bring that left hand out to the side. So same thing here. You can be up on fingertips. You can plant that hand, reaching it just a little away from the hips here. And then opening up that right arm out to the side. Lengthening through the arms, opening up through the heart. You have the option to stay here if this feels good, or you can start to reach that arm up and over. Again, coming back to all those things we focused on in our extended side angle. Heart is pressing forward, length through both sides of the body here. Hips are staying grounded down into the mat. And then we'll just gently bring it back up, both hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to bring palm over heart, allowing the eyes to close here or the gaze to drift to the floor. Coming back to that feeling of being centered, grounded. Bringing that intention back into the breath with that inhale to the count 4 or 5. Exhale to the same. We'll just gently start to open the eyes. We're going to bring knees together. We're just making our way all the way down to our back, making sure that your blanket, I'm going to do a long reach for my blanket, is handy. It's in a reachable distance once we get settled in here. So coming all the way down to the back, we're going to hug those knees in towards the chest. You can find a little movement here. Maybe you rock side to side. Little circles with the knees. We're gonna settle into our supine twist. So arms are gonna come out to the sides, or you can find that cactus arm shape. Knees are gonna drop over to the right. So if this is just not giving you all the happy sensations that you want, you can also do this kind of wide-legged twist. So feet would be planted on your mat, taking them to the wide edges, and then dropping the knees over to the right. This version might feel a little bit more connected and supported to the floor if that's what you're needing this morning. So just taking the version that feels right to you and allowing the body and the breath to settle into this shape. Bringing it back to that counted breath. Maybe settling back into that little bit of awareness, checking in with those areas of the body that needed a little extra attention or love today. Breathing a little extra space where it's needed. We'll be here for just a couple more breaths. And just gently start to bring the knees back to center, finding that little moment of pause again, settling into stillness. And then as you're ready, knees dropping over to the left. So same option here. If you get there and it just doesn't feel quite right, maybe you plant those feet instead, dropping the knees over to the left. Settling back into that counted breath. Bringing it back to that awareness. Breathing extra space where it's needed for these last few moments here. And then gently, easily start to bring those knees back to center. Maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest one more time here. Starting to think about where you want to be for this last little moment of practice. So if you have that blanket, maybe grabbing it, covering up, tucking yourself in if you want. So you can come to that kind of taking the feet out, arms can come out, queen size bed to yourself shape, if that feels right to you. You can bring hands to heart to bring it back to where we started. Maybe you come to a comfortable seat if that feels more grounding for you. Taking the time that you need to feel really comfortable, to feel like you can bring it back to the breath. You can settle back into that awareness of body, awareness of where your mind is starting to trail off to. And just try to be in this moment, be in this space for a few more moments and a few more breaths. Feeling connected to the ground and the earth, feeling connected to that heartbeat inside you, the breath moving through you, and that connection, even through screens, to our community in this moment. Wherever you're at, we'll just gently start to deepen that breath, gently and slowly waking up the body with little movements. You're invited to stay. If you're needing just a few more moments to kind of stay in that cozy, comforting place that you're in, please do that. If you're ready to kind of head off into your day, just at your own pace, making your way to a comfortable seat. Placing that hand over heart. We'll bring palms together. I want to thank you all so much for being here and being flexible and being the beautiful and wonderful community that you are. I'm definitely grateful to have everyone here for the live streams and the in person classes that we've had this year. So thank you. The light within me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Awesome. Again, thank you all so much for rolling out your mats and rolling out of bed with me this morning. It's definitely what I needed after the week that we've all had. So thank you for that. Just a couple quick announcements before you head off into whatever your Saturday holds. So if you didn't see it already, we posted this morning that we are not going to do our in-person classes during this freeze. So if you were signed up for EOLA, we won't be there Monday, but Seville is teaching the live stream Monday night at 6. So you're welcome to join us via screens from your home. And we're happy to be here for you for that. Hello, Amanda. Hello. Happy Saturday. So yes, so join us on the live streams. We'll still be doing our Monday nights at 6 and our Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. As always, any donations that you feel like sharing with us, we greatly appreciate. The info for that is on the website. And then again, just kind of a plea or a shout out for our partners that we've had in the past and through this year that have opened up their space to us. A lot of the businesses that we know and love are going to be going through a rough moment in time. So if you can grab takeout or grab a gift card or support them in any way before the freeze happens, or if they're doing takeout during the freeze, we just encourage you to support our wider community in any way that you can. But again, thank you all so much for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Thank you, Cheryl and Jerry. Thanks for being here. Cheers, everyone. Happy Saturday. Thank you, Nicole. Yay. Thank you, Amanda. I'm glad. Bye, everyone.